What's up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Thank you as always for tuning in. It's Sunday. It's my only day off this week. I had scheduled 2 days off this week and I had a lot planned to get done on the Z, but I had to go into work one of those days and I'm not complaining about the overtime. So not really sure how much we're gonna get done today, but I am gonna try my best. One of the big things I wanna check off the list is to try and figure out what that little misfire was, see why it's running on 5 cylinders or whatever the issue may be. But before we get into that, I gotta get this car turned around because it's currently facing with the exhaust right at the door. And the last time I ran it for a few minutes, it made the whole house smell like exhaust. So I'm gonna put you guys on a time lapse and get this thing turned around in the garage. Not gonna lie, that did not go according to plan. So I have 2 of these wheel dollies here, only 2, and I thought I could balance one in the front, one in the back, and then just spin the car around. You may have noticed in the time lapse that didn't really happen. The car may or may not have fallen, not on the ground. One of the wheel dollies was under the front subframe, so it did stop it from like actually falling, but it was a little sketchy. Either way, so I've got one wheel dolly under each of the front wheels, and now I'm gonna balance the back on just the jack and try and like pull it around. Hopefully that'll work. I mean, I've done that in the past. It's just not a good way to do it. So whatever, fingers crossed it goes okay. That was absolutely terrible. The jack kept getting caught on the little cracks in the concrete and getting completely stuck. But the car is turned around. It looks okay. I think this is the first time in a long time that the back is actually on the ground and not on jack stands. It looks like the little bit of raising I did on the coilovers in the back is about right. I mean, it could be a little lower, but it's a good starting point. Anyways, let's finally get to work on this thing. That took so much longer than it should have. As usual, I got distracted and started doing something else, and then a half hour went by. Let me show you what I did. So I took out the rear windshield wiper motor. I've got a little plastic delete I bought on Amazon for a few bucks, and I thought it'd be a good time to toss that in. This was in the hatch as well. This is like a, I don't know, a noise canceling frequency. I don't know. It's a solid like 5 pounds though. Happy that's gone. And then I figured, might as well pull the badge off, might as well polish the paint, and it looks great. This is the nicest paint on the car now. Well, I've got the car running again, and weirdly it kind of sounds like it's running fine. I don't know. Let's compare the revs from last time. Well, after having this thing running for a little while and kind of poking around in the engine bay, I think I found the issue. So what I did was just I went around and started unplugging the ignition coils one at a time. So I would unplug one, and then it would drop, the idle would drop, plug it back in, the idle would come back up. So obviously that one's working, that cylinder's running. So I did that on each one until I came to one that when I unplugged it, the idle didn't change. So that's the one that's not working. Now I'm hoping it's just the ignition coil. I'm gonna pull that out, put a different one in, and see if it runs any better. And if it is, then cool, it's fixed. If not, then it's either a wiring issue or something else. But let's start with the ignition coil and see if that fixes the problem. All right, well, I haven't really been filming much because I've just been troubleshooting nonsense and really getting nowhere. So I replaced the ignition coil, didn't fix anything. You saw in a little clip I was testing it, and the ignition coil's working. It's getting power, it's sparking when it's supposed to, at least it looks like it. So I'm kind of lost. I swapped coils from a known working one to the one that's not working, and that one stays not working, right? So the coils are fine. I pulled the plugs look fine. It smells like fuel, so I'm assuming the injectors are working. But I don't know. I'm not really sure where to go from here. Okay, I wanted to feel like I at least accomplished something today other than just turning this car around and plugging and unplugging a few things here and there. So I tossed the other headlight on. Kind of looks like a complete car, almost. Well, hate to end it off on a negative note, but this is going to be the end of today's video. Unfortunately, I really just couldn't figure the issue out, and I don't have the time to dive much deeper into it today. But I am going to go back to the drawing board and kind of do some research and try and figure out what this issue could be. It seems like I have two cylinders that aren't working. So when I go and unplug the ignition coils, there's two right next to each other. I think it's cylinder 3 and 5 that aren't really doing anything. So I don't know, is it running on 4 cylinders or 5? Not quite sure. Like I said, I've got some digging to do, and I unfortunately just don't have the time to do it today. But in the next video, hopefully that's what this is. It's going to be running better and hopefully driving. Really, all I've got to do is get the clutch line hooked up and bled, and then it should be drivable. Even if it is on 5 or 4 cylinders, maybe I can just kind of move it in and out of the garage. That would be satisfying. But anyways, enough of me rambling and being not super stoked. Thanks, as always, for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Give this video a thumbs up, even though there's nothing super thumbs up about it. Anyways, thanks again. I'll catch you in the next one.